Folks, what's going on? Welcome to a new edition of the FanDuel Hurry Up. I'm your host, Arden Franklyn, joined by my guy, Ryan Williams, as we're here to explore more of best ball. We got to take a look at a key skill position in tight end, but first, I need to check in with my guy.
Hey, I'm good, man. How you doing? We out here ready to rock on these tight ends, man. One of the ugliest quote unquote positions in fantasy football, usually. But with some of these guys, I feel like they could be, the sleeper darlings that could help some people win their leagues, win their best ball tournaments. Let's get after it.
Absolutely. You're not lying about that. Even though, again, a lot of love should be given to the tight ends, man. Just like on the field and in this, they are a security blanket to your team. But to kick this off, let's look at Mike Gesicki, tight end for the Miami Dolphins. If that's the name that's been familiar to you, that's because, yes, he's been cooking up and doing what he's supposed to do. The man has been doing his thing over the last couple of years. He's become a 50-plus catch guy and over 500 yards, whether it was Fitzpatrick at quarterback or Tua. So, Ryan, what makes a Gesicki such a viable option at best ball right now?
Yeah, man, Mike Gesicki, listen, I like Mike because he's allowing me to get a piece of the Dolphins offense that I think is going to be explosive this year. You talked about a Tua coming into the second year, dealing with some injuries, and we look at Mike Gesicki, and he was tight end 3 from weeks 12 to 16 when Tua was the starter. You gotta love that. I mean, he's an explosive guy. He was, I believe, number 3rd in contested catches with 19. With his teammate Devontae Parker being number 1. So I think that this Miami Dolphins offense is really going under the radar. And Mike Gesicki is a guy that you can get, pretty much later on in your drafts and really feel comfortable about it. And you love, just recently, Mike Gesicki was having an media interview, and he came to Tua's defense on people who are slandering his name. So, I mean, that's going to equate to at least a couple more targets in 2021. I really like Mike Gesicki this year. You're looking at Adam Shaheen and I believe Smythe being there to take away some targets, but he still had a 13.6 target share last year. That's only going to increase this year. Wheels up for Mike Gesicki. Let's go.
Absolutely. You're not lying about that. And if there's anything, too, that's been noteworthy about Mike, it's the fact that, hey, he's becoming a touchdown maker as well, man. 11 TDs over the last 2 seasons. And even though the Dolphins have been expanding their offensive weaponry, Mike will get his targets, and he will definitely get his touchdowns, especially when you, defend your quarterback. That's a must. So, Mike, best ball, I'll take my chances, too. Up next, we have Chicago Bears tight end Cole Kmet. The second-year tight end had a strong finish to his season last year despite the slow start. And boy, do the Bears have high hopes for him. Ryan, what makes Cole very interesting to you?
Yeah, man. Here in Chicago, it's a homer pick with Cole Kmet, but I'm still excited about it. You hit it on the head, man. The second half of the season was key for Cole. You're looking at over 5 targets per game that he saw over the past 7, played 70% of the Bears snaps to close out the season. So you're looking at this. They were joking around with the Bears last year, calling it tight end just so many tight ends that they couldn't do enough with. Well, now we're just looking at Jimmy Graham, who's in the last year of that 2-year enormous contract. And then outside of that, it's J.P. Holtz and a whole bunch of other guys. I mean, Cole Kmet is their guy. They invested a top pick in him in the 2020 draft. He was number 43 overall off of the board, coming from Notre Dame, right in the backyard of Chicago. He was excited to be here. And we're looking at a team here outside of Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney. They need another offensive weapon to step up. Love Cole Kmet. And then we're looking at Justin Fields here for the long-term situation. I think for best ball, it's going to be good. But also, if you're in dynasty leagues too, Justin Fields, 6 of his 22 touchdowns last year at Ohio State went to the tight end position. A lot was made about him, targeting the tight end in that Clemson game as well. So we're really looking for Justin Fields to be the starter here for really the rocket ship emoji to go with Cole Kmet. But I really think it's going to be a big year for him.
I absolutely agree, Ryan. And, hey, man, shout out to Chi-Town, man. Hey, let's go. I like that pick even more. And I'm happy that you brought up the fact that Justin Fields, again, part of his touchdown totals was to the tight end. And I do think, once again, when you're looking at the Bears, they do need that valuable third option in the passing game. So whether it's Andy Dalton or the good brother Justin Fields, Cole is going to be ready to play. He's going to get his targets. And there's something, too, about a tight end that I think with this type of production where if I saw you get most of your playing time in the second half and you still give me nearly 30 catches and nearly 300 yards, I'm rolling with you. So Cole Kmet, I'm going to roll with you too in best ball, and you should too. Lastly, we are going to the NFC West because even though this guy changed teams, he is still staying in the division with tight end Gerald Everett. That's right. I know some of you were used to being a Los Angeles Ram, but now he's playing with Russell Wilson and crew in Seattle as he is the newest Seattle Seahawk. Gerald's one of those guys that, again, at the tight end position, pretty solid production. He's going to give it to you, and his role may expand in Seattle. So, Ryan, what makes Gerald once again a very viable option in best ball?
Yeah, and before everybody comes after me on Gerald Everett here, let's just let the numbers speak for themselves, or not even the numbers. Let's just let the situation speak for itself. And we're talking about Seattle, who hired a new offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron. Oh, where did he come from? He comes from the LA Rams, where Gerald Everett was, where he was his tight end coach in 2017 when Gerald Everett was a rookie. They brought this guy in for a reason. Pete Carroll's already calling Gerald Everett the wide receiver 3 on this team. If you can even believe that, because Pete Carroll, coach speak, we can't always believe what he says. But hey, it's early on in the season. I think they do mean that. Gerald Everett's already talking about working out with Russell Wilson. I think this is going to be a great fit for them. You're looking at another team that has a ton of tight ends to go along with it. Will Dissly, Jacob Hollister, Greg Olsen. Okay, I mean, yes, those are names that Russell Wilson has been using, but if we can get some of that equity, I believe Olsen and Hollister both saw 9 red zone targets. We're looking at how Shane Waldron used the tight ends in the red zone. Tyler Higbee in 2019, he had 19 targets, in the red zone in 2019. That was tied for number 1 overall. Gerald Everett in 2018, he had 11 red zone targets, which was good for a top 12 at the tight end position. So we're really liking what Gerald Everett's upside could be in this offense. And when you're thinking about best ball, Arden, it's not going to take a lot to invest in him. You can get him in the 18th round of your best ball if you really wanted to. People are sleeping on this. So I really do like what his upside could be. Back-to-back seasons where he's had 60, plus targets. And if we can really, get the touchdown equity to up for Gerald Everett, I think we're going to see, a guy who's going to pay off his price tag on where he's going tremendously.
Absolutely. Familiar coaching, improved offense, and he has the skill set too to really thrive in Seattle. So again, if Coach Carroll is being truthful here, I think Gerald should be wide receiver number 3, man. Let that man go. It's just scary to think about him underneath, Metcalf taking the top off of defenses, Lockett still being in the building. Wow, it's going to be crazy to see. So I, too, would definitely invest in Gerald Everett. Folks, that is that. Thank you once again for watching a new edition of the FanDuel Hurry Up. Ryan, thank you once again for your input and insight as always. This is Arden Franklyn signing off. I'll holla at you next time.